Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. That's Bruno here. It's exactly 9 a.m. In Central Europe. I will just do a very little introduction because if I speak, I will speak too long, of course. So we commit to have a 30 minutes webinar. So I will give the hand to Pascal. And but after this 30 minutes, if you have some more question or if you want to discuss, you can stay and we can exchange and we can activate your microphone. So thank you again, and Pascal, it's up to you.
Okay, thank you, Bruno. And I just see that I cannot show my screen. I don't know why. It was working earlier. Can you design me as a presenter or organizer, please?
You think it is the reason? Okay. Make presenter. Yes. Yes. You were not the presenter. Sorry for that.
Okay. Okay, this one. Sorry. Okay, hello everybody. I'm Pascal Rugbush. I'm the CTO of M81 and the founder also. And today, this morning, I have 30 minutes to explain you how FlashY is working. First, one word about our company. M81 is an independent software vendor. We are specialized in IBMI software, system softwares, and we have three softwares, FlashY, this presentation, I will show you this product, Control4i, that allow to use any kind of monitoring tool to monitor IBMI, and there's a presentation today at 10. And Recover4i, that is a very good complement to cold backup situation. So if you only have one system and no HA solution, and you don't want to lose your data from the day in case of crash, then Recover4i can help you. And there's also a presentation at 11 this morning. Okay, M81, that's a 9-year-old company. We have something like 38 partners all around the world. Well, in fact, not around the world, in 21 countries, mainly in Europe and some in United States, Argentina, and Uruguay. And our products are installed at more than 250 customers and probably more than 1,000 partitions now. Okay, some information before to start with FlashY. We have two events planned. There's one event in Germany that is planned in November. And if you speak German and if you are somewhere there that's in Dortmund, so enroll there and come to see us physically. And there's a virtual event in French where that will be for the whole day on beginning of December, and that's dedicated about the database. And we also will be there with 2 presentations. And about this presentation, this PowerPoint or this PDF, you will have it, Bruno will put it during the presentation. On the right of your screen, you have a bar from webinar, and there's the document or handout, and you will find the PDF in it like this. It looks like this. And after the presentation, this is recorded and you will receive an email to download the presentation. Okay, let's go. What is FlashY? To explain what is FlashY and what it can bring, I will take the place of an IT director or IT manager in the company, the M company, and I will explain you, well, what are my concerns. So this is a picture of me. I'm M, and in our company, what we do is we create pipes and valves and things like that. And you can see the picture. Some history about our company. Back in 2005, we had one office in France and one factory. And we used a homemade software, and on the IBM I, everything was running on Power 5, and the database size was about 250 gigs. In 2015, we created a new office in USA, in Atlanta, and a warehouse. And this is the picture of my colleague in USA. And we started to use a new ERP that included a lot of pictures and videos. And at this time, we were running on a Power 8, and the database and the IFS size was something like 700 gigabytes. And today, we have a new feature with order by internet, so our customers can connect to internet and order directly. There are more pictures, and the database on our Power 9 is about 3 terabytes. It's a lot. So you can imagine that the planning of the job has changed. This is back in 2005. Here you have the office. You had the office in France from 8 to 18, and the factory was from 6 to 22. And we had to have everything open and available for those people. And here are some backups before the batch and backup after the batch. And here are the batch, and it took about less than 2 hours. The same on Saturday, and on Sunday there was Save 21 every weekend because there was no users. So that was easy. Now in 23, we have additional times used for the USA, and you can see that they don't work at the same time that we do in Europe. And for the warehouse in USA, it's the same thing, and it's go until 4 a.m. So with this, and the order by internet are all the day. So you can see here, that's all the day. And with this, the batch jobs are longer, it takes more time, and we don't have the time anymore to run a backup before batch. It's not possible. And there's another issue, that's the backup, the actual backup now takes 3 hours for the daily backup. And you can see that it takes place while some people are working, the last hour of the factory in the warehouse in USA, and the first hour of the factory in France. So that's not a very good situation. And another thing is that you can see that during the backup, the internet access is not available. So that's the planning today. And I had new requests from the sales department. They want to have an internet access for 24 hours a day, nonstop. So including during the backup. And from the BI department, they need to have the database for 1 hour, at least 1 hour every day to prepare a new BI model, and they need to have a stable and unchanged database, so no one using it. And a new request from the security department. Sometimes when there's a bug, when a user has a bug, a developer or tester can come and use the system to check and to see exactly what happened. And the security department does not want to see this anymore. So we have to find a solution for this. And they asked me a question: what happens if we have a ransomware attack? They have many things to protect, antivirus, anti-ransomware, etc. But what happens if there is an attack? So that's a lot of questions and a lot of problems to solve. So I don't know how to do it by myself. So I did ask the question to my business partner and asked her to find a solution for us. And she told me, why don't you make several instant copy of your production partition? Instant copy of the production? How do we do that? I don't know. She said, use the flash copy or use a snapshot. And that will be easy. You will have several copies and you can do many things with it. Okay, what is the flash copy? Well, the flash copy is a function of the external storage. So external storage, that's in the IBM world, that the 8000 or the SVC, also the flash systems and StoreWise. Most of the time now we can see flash systems, but all those exist. And there are other manufacturers. Other manufacturers call it the snapshot, and flash copy is the name only used by IBM. That's integrated into the disk array, and there's absolutely no relationship with the IBM system. And it's not possible to do with internal disk. What does it do? It's possible to create, it creates virtual disk, clone disk instantly. So if you have 10 terabytes, in 1 second, you have another set of 10 terabytes. The initial content is strictly identical. So when you, at the microsecond where you start the flash copy, then you have your 10 terabytes exactly the same as when you started it on the production. And it can be used immediately, so you can read and write to the extra disk immediately. And when you start reading, when you start the flash copy, then both sets of disk become independent. So you can read and write on both sides and have different things. You can use one of them to make to upgrade the system version. That's no problem, and it has absolutely no effect on the second one. That's hard to understand, that's hard to believe. So if you don't know this function, call us and we can explain you with more details and tell you how it works. Right now, I don't have the time to do that. So you just have to believe me. You right click, you say start, and right after 1 second later, you have 10 terabytes, 10 additional terabytes with the same data, and they are totally independent. You can use them. That's funny. So this is the technology, but how does it? How can I use this with my IBM I? So I will explain you with this little schema. This is the external storage. So let's say a StoreWise, for example. So my StoreWise is there, and inside this StoreWise, I define, or someone defines the disk. So here I have my 4 terabytes for the production. And this is the production partition, so defined in the power system. So that's the normal situation with my users and my internet orders. Okay, now I need to install, or it's better to install one product, which name is Flash4i. So this is supposed to represent Flash4i. Now, how can I do the backups, for example? So for the backup, in the StoreWise, I will define a structure for the flash copy and start the flash copy. And those disks are a new set of disks. And remember, when I start the flash copy, that's exactly the same as the production data. And after that, they don't move until I start a new partition. So I have a new partition that uses those disks. And this partition is a backup partition. Flash4i manages to start the flash copy, to start the partition, and to start the backup. So all these steps are done automatically by Flash4i, and the backup is done on your hardware. You don't need extra hardware for this. That's exactly the hardware you use now on the production that we use. Sorry, I'm M, so that I use on my production. Okay, nice. And about the other issues, so the BI that want to have the database, well, I can create a second clone and with a second flash copy set. So I have another set of this. I can start it at the same time as the first one, so both at the same time, or at another time because I want to have stable data after the batch, for example. And on this partition, when it IPLs, I give 1 hour to the BI team to extract data or anonymize or do whatever they want. And they told me 1 hour, so that's okay. And when it's finished, the partition remains active and people can connect to it and test. So they have the real data from last night, and they can do whatever they want, what kind of test they want to do. It's open, and they cannot delete anything. If they delete everything on this partition, it has no impact, absolutely no impact on the production. So that's open. I told you about the backup, that what kind of backup can I do? I use BRMS. So I can use BRMS, and that's the same BRMS as the production. No change, no different parameter. If I didn't have BRMS, it's okay. I can use a specific program. Or it's also possible to do a system save 21. And all this is totally automatic. Okay. And what about the clone 2 partition? If I want to test, to make some tests, maybe there are additional information or configuration that I have to change. So FlashRY will do that for me. It will change the IP configuration, rename the net server so it's open on both partitions, rename the directory, the relational database name so it's accessible by with another name. So many things in this can be changed by one option in FlashRY. So this is totally automatic. And about the ransomware, in the external storage, in the Storewise or Flash system, there's an option that is integrated to the Storewise that is called safeguarded copy. And the safeguarded copy is a structure where it's possible to make copies exactly like this, the same kind of Flash copy, but they are immutable copies. So no one can use them, no one can change them. It's not possible to start a new partition with them. And when you need to use them, there's a procedure where you make another copy and you can use the other copy. So you never change anything in here, but you can use them because that's the goal at the end. So you can periodically, every day, every 2 or 3 times a day, or when you want, it's possible to create new safeguarded copies. And they are immutable, so protected against ransomware. So what happens? This is for the first day, okay? What happens next day? So now it's 2 a.m. And we have all this structure and no one is there because backup is finished and the tests are finished. So automatically, FlashRY will stop both Flash copies, will stop the first one and IPL the clone partition and start the backup and start the second Flash copy and IPL the clone partition and automatically start the extract for the BI and then keep the partition active for the testers. So everything is there, and also the safeguarded copy will continue to be done automatically. Nice. That's a good option. I can use everything. I can solve all my issues now with this structure. But I have a lot of questions. Now, how much time do I need to stop my production actually? Do I need to have, I will have 3 partitions. Do I need to have 3 times the disk space of the production? So 3 times 4 terabytes. Do I have to write programs or is it something only parameters? How do I monitor 2 additional partitions? Do I have to monitor them? And how can I be sure that the backup is correct? Because that's on another partition, not on the production partition. So all those questions, I did ask them to my business partner. So first question, how much time do I stop my production? Well, in fact, it depends. And it depends on your constraints, on the enterprise constraints. The best option is to stop the users for 2 minutes, only 2 minutes, and that's the maximum. If it's possible to stop for 2 minutes, then everything is right. And after 2 minutes, everyone can start again. So you can start new batch. You can have users working on it. If it's not possible, it's better to find 2 minutes where during the night or whenever you want, where there's no batch job, no big batch job that writes data a lot of data. If there's a batch job that does not write anything to the database, it's not important. That's not a problem. The problem is the batch jobs that run a lot, that write a lot of data into the database. And so no batch job for 2 minutes, so write between two batch, for example, and as few interactive jobs as possible. So some people from internet, some people in the office or in the factory, but just some. So the risk is very, very low. And this is a good option also. And there's no effect on the production, so no one could see anything. But there are many other circumstances where you could have a different thing. But remember, anytime that's 2 minutes maximum, and it can be reduced, these 2 minutes, if necessary. And if your applications are using journals and commitment control, then no need to stop. You can do it at any time. You will have stable data on the production system. So this is just a little constraint. And if you have some doubt, call us and we can talk about this. Now, do I need 3 times the production disk space? Well, again, it depends. Normally, no. If that's for a daily operation and the flash copy is active only for 24 hours, then the best is to create the clone disk with a space efficient option. And in this case, it takes between 5 and 20% of the original disk space every day. So it means for my example of 4 terabytes, it takes a maximum of, after 24 hours, it takes a maximum of 800 gigs. So less than the 4 initial terabytes. If your goal is to create a UAT partition during one, and that will remain active for 1 month or more, then it will take more. Maybe not 50%, but maybe 30, 40. It really depends on how many writes you have on both partitions. So if you want to keep your partition active for more than 1 month, maybe it's good to plan to have the same disk space. Okay, do I have to read programs? The answer is no. No program. It's not needed. It's possible. There are many places where you can use your own exit programs, but you don't need to do anything. You just have to write any program. You just have to schedule FlashArray commands. If I take back my schema, when I want to start the clone1 partition, I have one command to schedule, this one, flclone, and the name of the environment is brms daily. And this will start the flash copy, start the partition, automatically run the backup, and automatically send back the many informations. So it started automatically. For the second partition, that's the same command, flclone, and the environment name is another one, and it will do everything automatically. And remember, there are many things a lot of configuration options in the system to change. This is done by another definition that is included in FlashArray, and that will change all this. So no program to write. And for the safeguarded copy, there's also one command here with one definition, and this will automatically create the new structure and the new copies. Okay, good. I don't have to program, so it's easy to do, easy to use. Now I have 2 additional partitions. How do I monitor this? Well, the first thing to know is that all the clone partitions have an IP address. And with this IP address, they are able to send a lot of logs and messages and tables and many information back to the production. So everything I have to do is to monitor on the production system, because all the logs are sent back to the production. So, and I will have information to know if the backup is correct or not, or if the changing the configuration was correct or not. So only on the production. And there's also an option where we can send emails when there's an error or when the status changes. And about BRMS, so how can I be sure that the backup are correct? Well, the logs are automatically sent, I showed you, and the log that are automatically sent are the internal log. The system log, the display log command of the clone partition is sent to the production, and you have option to see it. You don't have to look into a file in the IFS. That's a real option with a real display. And the spool file, the job log of the job that made the backup. And if you have BRMS, all the history of BRMS, all the data from BRMS are sent and restored to the production. So from a BRMS point of view, you just use BRMS on the production system, and it's exactly the same as if the backup would have been done locally on the production itself. And if you don't have BRMS, but you have a specific program, you can use it, and it's possible to use one command to send your own information to the production back. So just check as usual on the production partition. Well, these are very good answers to my question. So we are happy, and we have a new planning, and this is and all the requests are done, are okay. So we are happy, and all the team is happy. So everyone, the partner, and everyone is happy. I don't know which team it is exactly there, but they are happy, except the security guy, but he's never happy, so that's not a problem. Okay, so this was the theory. Now I will show you a part of the product within the demo. First, you can see this screen. That's a 5250 screen. There's no GUI because the goal is to have a technical product for technical guys that are used to use this kind of session. And we want to have a product very stable and as stable as possible. So no GUI, just 5250. There's a menu. In the menu, there are options here. These are the feedback option, and all the rest are configuration, control, or miscellaneous things. The main command to have the feedback is this one, display cloning history. With this, I have the list of the FL clone command that have been used. So remember, I have to use the FL clone command, and here you can see that it's used with different environment names, and it's used every day at 2 a.m. We have two partitions, partition clone 1 and clone 2, like in the schema, and both are have been running a BRMS backup, and the backup is finished. But the partitions are still active. You can see the partitions are active. There's no limit time. And all those are old flash copy, old cloning, and they are finished. There are messages. If there's an error, you can see it. And this is the time of the FL clone command on the production partition. This is a demo partition. It's a very little partition with 20% of one core. And it does not do only an FL clone. There are exit programs that do many other things. That's why it's very long. Usually it's more 1 minute. And these are statistics. This is the time, the IPL of the partition, during the duration of the backup. And I told you that it takes between 5 and 20% of the disk space for 24 hours. In this case, it's a demo partition. The backup is not done on a physical tape, on an external tape. It's done on an internal image catalog, so it takes a lot of space. That's why it's much more. I have logs. This is the internal log with messages generated on the production partition or on the clone, so they have been automatically sent. You have the date and time. That's an information. It could be an error, and you have all the text here. With this option, you have sometimes some more information. And we have the system log. So this is the log. Sorry, this is the log of the clone partition, and you can see display log as starting with the IPL of the clone partition, and then all the messages, and somewhere there are the messages of the backup. Here they are. So these are the messages of the backup. So you have all the information, and again with all the detail. And the spool file, the job log of the job that made the backup. Everything is there. I have less than 1 minute to show you what is the definition. These are the environment. Usually you only have one or, well, 3 or 4 environments, and they have all the information that you need, the IP configuration and what kind of operation to do. And if you want to use exit programs, there are places to use exit programs. So that's a very short demo, but you will have some screenshots in the PDF. There are many other ways to use it. You can use flash copy and cascading flash copy. So one working partition to anonymize the data, and another one to use the data that have been anonymized. And you can use some cascading. You can make flash copy locally. That's what I explained here. Or if you have a second site with a remote mirroring or a software application, you can, from the partition or from the logical replication partition, you can start a new flash copy and do the backup here. So many things are possible. So remember, with FlashRI, you can do a daily backup of your production, even a save 21, and there's absolutely no effect on the users and the application. You can refresh a test partition every day, every month, or when you want, and it takes 20 minutes, something like the time for the IPF. And you can create immutable copies using the safeguarded copies in case of ransomware attack. That's the end of this presentation, and we have most of our customers. I don't say all customers, but most of our customers are very happy while using our product, and they are also very happy about the support. We have a very efficient support, and sometimes they tell us that we answer too fast. So that's good. Thank you to all of our customers and existing partners, and also thank you to our future customers and future partners. And you can contact us if you have technical questions. That's for me. If you have a sales or sales question, or if you are a partner, call Bruno. And if you speak German, you can call Karl-Heinz or Andreu if you speak Spanish. If you have any question, feel free to open the microphone. I don't know if you can do it or put it in the chat.
I will activate all the microphones. So normally it works, I hope. If you want to speak, you have to unmute and unmute. So I selected unmute. Maybe you can try it also, but because it seems it doesn't work for me. You have a small microphone, green microphone at the bottom of the list.
Otherwise, you can enter text in the chat.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. No question in the chat or in the question application, and you can see that my T-shirt is to support France at the Rugby World Cup. So, allez à France. Unmute. Yes, I unmute you, so you can speak now. You are unmuted, so you have to unmute yourself, but you can unmute. Don't hesitate if you have any question to stay with us.
I see that Thierry has.
Okay, here's Andreas from the KI GmbH in Germany. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, perfectly.
Oh, okay. I've got a question because when the system will be flashed, what's with the database in the main memory? Is there, for example, a change ASP activity on suspend or in crisis before doing the flash?
Yes. I didn't give every detail because I need 2 hours to explain more things. Right, due to the single level storage, many things are active, many data are active in the memory and are not already copied to disk. So right before to start the flash copy, the product will use the system command, change ASP act, and this command copies everything active in the memory to the disk. It's not very long. It takes between 10 seconds and 1 minute most of the time, sometimes a bit longer, but most of the time it's not very long. And there are 2 options. There's one option that freezes the job and during the copy, and another one that's the suspend option, and another one that only forces the write to the database. And FlashArray is compatible with both options. So to select one or the other option is a question of specifically how is your company. Most of our customers use the force write, so don't freeze the users. If it's possible to have 1 or 2 minutes where there's no users, it's exactly the same. So because there's no user, so it doesn't freeze anything. So both are possible. That's just a question to ask when you install the product.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so there is one question which was, is it necessary to have an SSH connection towards the SVC or storage system?
Yes, yes. The connection between the production partition and the storewise flash system SVC and the HMC is done using SSH. And there's an RSA key, so an SSH key. So there's no password on the line, and it's all encrypted. So very secure and very easy to install and configure. Just have to open the port 22.
Okay, and I have some question requesting to get the presentation. As Pascal told you at the beginning, I drop it into the GoToWebinar, but we will send it. We will send you also a link in some 2 hours or 3 hours in an email and a link to review the video. And there is a question: does the flash copy concerns all the partition or part of the partition?
Well, in the flash copy has been used for a very long time in the Windows, Linux, or Unix world, because in those worlds you just have to copy one disk, the D or E disk, for example, and show it to another system, and it works. You can read it. In the IBM I world, it's necessary to have all the disk. If there's one missing disk, you cannot read anything. So the flash copy needs to take all the disk. There's one exception. That's if you use the independent ASP. So with the independent ASP, it's possible to copy only the IASP, but that's another infrastructure. And this infrastructure needs to be created before and many things in the IASP. So that's another job. But if you don't have independent ASP, then we need to take all the disks.
So another question.
Okay, I can see the question. Well, read it.
Okay, when you are virtualizing IBM I with VIOS and using SAN zoning, will the product automate also zoning?
Well, in fact, when I explain the way the product works, I made a shortcut. The configuration of the partition, of the VIOS, of the zoning, and the host definition in the flash system, in the storage system, has to be done previously. So this is an initial configuration, and it remains present. The only thing that is done by the product is start and stop the flash copy. It does not create everything. The only thing that it creates is for the safeguarded copy, where we just ask 2 or 3 questions and all the rest is done automatically. But the structure has to be done previously.
Okay, so, and we have a friend of us who told that Mr. M exists already. It is the manager of James Bond at the MI6 secret services in UK.
I didn't know you would recognize me, so.
Okay, thank you very much to everybody, and maybe we will meet some of you in 20 minutes for the Control4i session. And have a good day, and have a good end of week and weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Carl. See you.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
How do I stop the recording? I don't know. Stop recording. Where is it? I don't see how to stop the recording. Webcams, screenshot, this session. Okay, so I stop it. Bye-bye.